Concept 2, finding products in the form a minus b squared. So a minus b squared is still a perfect square trinomial, right? We're still squaring what's happening inside this binomial. But our formula is going to be slightly different, okay? If I FOIL this out, I'm still going to have a squared, okay? But instead of having 2ab, I'm going to have a times negative b plus a times negative b, and then negative b times a, which I can move around and still have a times negative b. Okay, and then I've got negative b times negative b, but that actually, because I'm squaring it, it's two negatives multiplied by each other, so it's still the same as b squared. So we leave that the same. Okay, but now when I put this all together, I've got 1 a times negative b. Well, a positive times a negative is going to be a negative. So I've got my a squared plus, and then I've got a second a times negative b. So I've got two negative ab's, or minus 2ab, okay, and then plus b squared. So very similar, but it switches the sign on my middle term, okay, because I have a negative b. Alright, so now if I did this one, I'd put it into my formula the same way. The thing you need to be careful of is if I'm using this form, I basically forget about this sign. Okay, I basically kind of say it doesn't exist. So I've got my a squared, x squared squared is x to the fourth, alright, minus 2 times a, so 2 times x squared, times b, which is 5, so I've got 10 x squared minus 10x squared, and then plus 5 squared, 25. Okay? Alright, so when you're feeding that in, make sure you don't multiply by negative 5 here. I've already got my negative sign. That's what I've pulled into my formula. Okay, so don't use it twice. Okay, so for this one, we've got things switched around a little bit, and it doesn't really matter which way we do this, whether we have a negative sign on our first term or a negative sign on our second term, but it is something that we can fix pretty easily. We can, inside of these parentheses, we can move stuff around as much as we want, as long as we keep the sign with the term it's on. So I can change this and I can say this is 4 minus 3x squared. Okay, same thing. I'll get the same result. Alright, so let's do that. So a squared, a is going to be 6, or a is 4. 4 squared is 16, minus 2 times a, which would be 8, times 3x, which would be 24x, and then 3x squared would be 9x squared. Okay, and then I can reorder this to put it into my proper order for standard form of a trinomial, right? That would be 9x squared minus 24x plus 16.